Hey guys, what's up? It's Charlie here, and today we're going to be looking at what happens when you enter witness protection. We all know that if you're involved in something criminal and you're at risk, then you'll go into witness protection. But what actually happens to those who enter the witness protection program? Obviously, the idea is you get a new identity and a brand new life. But what does that process actually look like? And are there some secret perks and downfalls of being in the witness protection program? Well, before we relocate, why not subscribe and press the notification bell too. Location. If you have to go into witness protection, you may have to make this decision very quickly. Usually the witness protection process begins with a visit from the US Marshals, or in other countries, the National Police. They'll likely give you the option of going into witness protection and you'll have a few hours to work it out. That's right, you'll only have a few hours to decide whether you want a brand new life. But then, where are you taken? Well, you're not taken straight away to your brand new house. Instead, you're actually taken to a safe house. In the USA, there's around 1,800 safe houses all around the country. You and your family, if you have one, will be taken to this safe house. These are often located out in the country and are very secure. The houses usually have reinforced walls, windows, and many locks on the doors. And you'll also likely have at least one security guard with you at all times. Then, at that location, you'll have to give a testimony on camera. For example, if you were the witness to a crime, then you would have to explain that on camera. Or if you were involved in a crime and wanted to give everyone else up, then you'd also have to do that on camera. Then once that's completed, you're put up in a hotel. This will be until the government has bought a house for you to live in. The government don't have houses on hand that they can just give you. That's because every person in witness protection has different requirements. For example, if you're a single young guy, you'll likely just get an apartment. But if you have a spouse and kids, you'll likely be put up in a large house. Also, to avoid any leaks of these locations, the government do not have these houses on hand. So they actually have to contact a real estate agent and buy one. But if you enjoy the city life, then do not go into witness protection. That is because you're almost never going to be in a very highly populated place. You're much more likely to be in a small suburban town or the country. And you likely won't go to one of the more populous states, for example, Texas, New York, or California. But usually the location will be dependent on who you're hiding from. For example, if you're hiding from Mexican cartels, they'll put you in the north of the country. Or if you've witnessed a crime on the East Coast, then they'll move you to the West Coast. Education. Obviously, in witness protection, you have a whole new life. And because of this, you'll need to study up. You'll need to rehearse all of the new things about your life, for example, your new name. You'll also be given a new birth certificate and social security numbers. But it's not good enough for you to just know this stuff. Remember, you'll have to interact with people and tell them all about your new life. That means you'll have to have a good backstory, as you can't disclose that you're in witness protection to anyone. So everything from where you grew up to where you went to college will need to change, and you'll need to remember all of that information. Usually this will last for around 2 weeks until you 100% know your backstory inside and out. Who's in witness protection? The name witness protection may make you think that people who have witnessed crimes would be in it. Well, while that is sometimes the case, most people in witness protection are criminals. Unlike in movies, the innocent guy caught up in crime is less than 5% of people in witness protection. Most are actually members of criminal organizations. They want to give up their life of crime, or they've been caught by the police anyway. They then make a deal saying they'll give up all of their criminal friends in exchange for a new life. Some of the world's most major criminal networks are brought down thanks to witness protection. But don't think it's all a bunch of good guys getting into witness protection. The police know better than anyone, sometimes you have to make a deal with the devil. First names. Obviously, one of the main parts of witness protection is getting a brand new identity. And part of that is getting a new name. But all of this new information can be very overwhelming. So a lot of the time, to help people acclimatize to their new identities, they're allowed to keep their first name. For example, Mark Smith may turn into Mark Wright, or Mary Johnson may turn into Mary White. This also helps people accidentally not get confused. For example, if you've been introducing yourself as John for 20 years, it may be weird to change to another name. And most of the time, criminals can't track somebody down with just a first name, so it's okay to keep that the same. But if you have a very unique first name, then this may be changed. Also, if you're under the age of 10, then you likely will also have your name changed. Children are much less used to their names, so if you're under 10 years old, then your name will be changed. A new look. You may think if you're in witness protection, what stops somebody from just recognizing you? Well, that's why many people will drastically change their looks in witness protection. They will pretty much make you look the opposite of how you look now. For example, if you have long hair, they'll cut your hair short. If you have tattoos, they may pay for you to get those removed. If you have a beard, then they'll shave it off. Or if you're clean shaven, they'll tell you to get a beard. One woman even got the government to pay for her chest implants and dental work. Personally, I think that's kind of abusing the system, but it worked for them. Another guy was even able to get his private region extended, if you know what I mean. This was because a psychologist said he had poor self-esteem issues. So you can actually get some pretty good perks when you go into witness protection. Money. Now, talking of the perks of witness protection, one of those is some cold hard cash. Obviously, if you're moved to a whole new area, you can't be expected to get a job straight away. So that's why, as well as a brand new house, the government also gives you some money. Typically, the government will pay you a salary based on the size of your family. This will be around $60,000 over 6 months. So that's around $10,000 per month. This is to help people get back on their feet. But within 6 months, they're expected to be self-supporting with a job. But in some scenarios, the Justice Department has paid out around $1 million to some people in witness protection. That's because they were in such danger they couldn't leave the house to get a job. Better grades. When you go into witness protection, all of your records are wiped, and that includes the records of your families, for example your kids. This means that your children's school records will be wiped clean, but it's very unusual that your kids will get the same school records. People in witness protection will actually usually ask their kids' grades to be bumped up. This will help them get into better schools and hopefully lead better lives. So kids, if you want to turn your F's to A's, just turn on your parents and go into witness protection. Divorced parents. Now, this is a big downside to witness protection. If you have divorced parents, then one set of those parents won't be able to see their kids again. If the kid is with the parent being relocated, the other parent won't be able to see the kids. And if the kid is with the parent not being relocated, then the relocated parent won't be able to see their kids again. That's because seeing their families could compromise their location. This is a very sad fact, and it means you may not see your kids again if you go into witness protection. But sadly, many criminal groups do surveillance on the families of people who go into witness protection for this very reason. Criminal misuse. Believe it or not, some criminals who go into witness protection have used it to do more crime. Some career criminals who go into witness protection have never earned an honest living. This means they have no job skills to enter the workforce. So sometimes they do even more crime in witness protection, knowing their status will make it harder to face any consequences. One 32-year-old in witness protection was able to make $7.3 million off crime. Eventually, police said they would take him out of witness protection if he didn't stop these crimes. As that did actually work, as he was very afraid of his identity being made public. But it just goes to show, some people in witness protection aren't always so grateful. Life of lies. This is yet another very sad fact about going into witness protection, and that is that you have to lead a life of lies. If you go on to get married and have kids while in witness protection, you'll have to lie to them about your old life. That's because you may break up with that spouse and then they may disclose it out of spite. Also, kids may think it's cool and tell their friends about it, and then it's spread everywhere. In 1981, a gangster named Henry Hill married Sherry Anders. He was going by the name Martin Lewis, and one day did tell Sherry about his true life before he went into witness protection. But when they broke up, she ended up telling lots of people, and this did not end well for Henry Hill. And finally, we have leave anytime. This may surprise you, but you can leave witness protection anytime. But this is obviously not recommended, as you're pretty much a walking target. It's a fact that not one single person has been hurt while under witness protection. However, some have left the program and violated the rules. For example, one guy named Daniel LaPolla decided to leave the witness protection program and return home for a funeral. However, when he returned home, a device had been planted and his door exploded in his face. Suffice to say, Daniel did not survive that and should have stayed in the witness protection program. Check out the poll in the top right corner to vote for the most amazing fact about the witness protection program. I think it's the fact they actually pay for you to get a whole new look, like tattoo removals. If you want some more amazing videos, then check out my second channel. There'll be a link to that coming up on screen in a moment. But as always, thanks for watching. Check out some more videos on screen right now. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and if you haven't already, what are you waiting for? Subscribe to Top 10s.